Welcome to K&A Farms.
You are in full bloom.
Yes, sir. And by next week,
This is amazing.
it'll pretty much be done by next week.
Yeah, that's when you called me and said, you better get out here and see the apple blossoms. I was like, yeah, you're right. I better get out there and see the apple blossom. It'll be snowing here soon. Snowing apple blossoms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here, let me get you. I always like coming down, especially when I'm running my mower and stuff. This little section right here where I got trees on both sides and I'm able to sit in there and just kind of.
Ones I got a cutting off of right here.
Yes, that's a Honeycrisp.
That's a Honeycrisp.
Yes. This little tiny one over here, that's a Golden Delicious. This little tiny one right there. Believe it or not, I don't know that tree will get much bigger than that. That's that tree's about 8 years old right now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it sure is.
Well, that's perfect for a little in-town type orchard type thing. That's about perfect.
This one here is also a Honeycrisp. I'm not seeing any blossoms on it this year.
Crisp are supposed to be kind of a pain in the ass at times.
For some reason, Honeycrisp kind of takes a little bit of time to do what it needs to do. And like on that Honeycrisp tree that's over there, the one that you also got some cuts on, it took about 6 years for me to even get an apple on that, and even any kind of a bloom on it.
Huh, I wonder why.
This is a cherry tree. It's more of a pie cherry tart. It's always coming in behind my other cherry trees. This one has really nice red cherries on them, but they're a little tart.
Well, that's a good pie cherry then, like you said.
All of my other cherry trees are already, the blooming's pretty much over with. There's probably some fruit already starting to develop on it. But if you
let's see,
turn the camera around and look.
Let me go up in that tree here real quick. Let's see.
Just pull a branch down.
I can go up to it.
You got one like right in front of you.
Yeah, there's a cherry right there. There's a cherry.
Yeah,
there's some more cherries right there. Look at that. That whole branch is actually loaded with them.
Here's some right here. These things will, after the flower dies back, these things will all turn into cherries here.
Wow, you're gonna have a good cherry year.
Yeah. We usually have a lot of cherries, and you know, the birds kind of like it. This is kind of a decoy tree. They'll come in here and start eating on this rather than the other ones.
The blueberries?
I gotta weed out around the blueberries and the strawberries that are in here. But let's talk a little bit about the pruning and the process of pruning here.
Yeah.
That we did do. Let me bring a chair for you to sit down on, and we'll go to the tree that I really took a big chunk off of.
Go ahead.
So why we prune our apple trees in the wintertime while they're dormant is when they come out of dormancy, if you can think of like the apples trees having a brain, what you want them to think injury, and they need to produce apples because they're on their last leg, even though that they're not. And so when we prune our apple trees down, we're gonna get the tree to produce apples, because the tree believes in tree language or tree that it needs to reproduce, and it needs to reproduce now because it's not going to have much time left to go in its lifespan. So we prune them, then we get all these really beautiful blooms, coming off. All these are going to be mostly apples coming off of this. Prune them back. You're going to have plenty of sunshine on the apples and stuff, and we should get some big, delicious apples off of these trees. And if you can look, all these trees that I pruned out all got nice blooms, and
they really are nice.
And they're going to get some big, beautiful apples. Now, when that's the first type of pruning that we're going to do. Now as the tree actually starts developing noticeable fruit, then we'll come in and we'll thin the fruit out. Apples can be almost, they can cluster like grapes almost, where you can get like 4 or 5 apples on a little bunch. You'll see up here, this one here is gonna be just about any of these. You'll be able to see it, but there'll be, 4 or 5 apples on that one, 3 or 4 apples on that one. I don't want all those apples on that one. I just maybe want 1 or 2 apples on those branches coming out, and let those apples get really big as we thin them out. This is a Gala apple right here. The one that Victor's next to is a Honeycrisp, and then the other one behind him was also a Gala apple.
I think you gave me Gala too.
Yeah, Galas are really, really nice. They're a nice red, sweet apple. One of the sweeter apples that we have. This one down here, that's a Granny Smith. This one may be a Gala. This one is I believe this is a Fiji apple right here, or a Fuji apple.
Fuji apples are good. Yeah, I like Fuji apples.
This might be a Fuji right here. And then some other kind of apple tree over there. That's a Granny Smith apple right over there. I'm not really sure what that apple tree is, or that actually might even be a pear tree. I'm not sure.
Have you thought about doing any grafting of your favorite apples out here onto some of your rootstocks that you have?
I have thought about that. What I'd like to do is I got and you have a crab apple. Is I got an apple tree over here that's an early bloomer, so it's always flowering up before the other ones, and it's not really compatible with any of the apple trees I got in here. So I think next winter I'm gonna go over to your place and grab a crab apple branch and try grafting a couple of crab apple branches into that tree.
I got rid of that tree.
You got other ones though, don't you?
I have some little ones. Yeah, they're decorative ones. The apples are only about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I just need it just needs the pollen. That's all it needs. Yeah. I'm sure that these apples are cross-pollinating with each other as well,
Well, yeah.
But I'm still gonna get a Honeycrisp, and I'm still gonna get a Gala and whatnot on these trees.
Now, in the last video, you talked about how apples are required to cross-pollinate.
Yes, unless you have. There's a honeybee there.
I see that. Look at that, guys. That's cool. Let them do.
Yes, apple trees are not self-pollinating plants.
Do they make any varieties that are self-pollinating?
No.
Because I know I've seen like
they have to eat
plums. Occasionally you'll see a plum tree or something that says self-pollinating.
Yeah, but that's because it's a grafted plum too.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll have if I had a tree that had a couple different types of that, like this here Gala, if it had like a Honeycrisp or a Granny Smith or grafted into it, then this would be a self-pollinating tree too. But it has to have a different. It has to have a different apple. This is called a column apple, and this one behind the cherry tree over here. Okay, that's called a column apple, and basically that apple tree grows straight up. It's normally only supposed to get maybe 4 or 5 feet high, but that was developed for people that live in apartments that want to grow apple trees. You can put that in a pot, and it'll grow out there on your deck, and it won't get very high, and it will produce a fair amount of apples on it too. I've said that I'd like to get a couple more of those in my orchard. That might have been my very first apple tree that I got. Cora bought that for me when a long time ago. Apple trees absolutely need to be pruned, and on how you want your trees to look too. I like to keep, like most apple trees in the orchard. If you ever go out to an orchard, you'll see them. Most of your apple trees they're not very tall. They're pretty low to the ground, and they produce some really big apples. Whereas if you got like what we had when we were kids, the apple tree in the backyard, it was a big apple tree, and the apples were they weren't very big.
No,
And
they weren't very good either.
But that's why we prune them, just to keep them down. We want to keep the tree down to where we can pick the apples very easily, manage the tree really easily, and we want good fruit. And we don't want a lot of disease on the trees as well.
So that apple tree behind you, this one here, the Gala.
Yeah, it's another Gala.
How many apples would you allow to be on that tree?
Maybe 30, 35.
Okay. So somewhere between 2 and 3 dozen.
Yeah, those branches will hold a lot more than what you can. But if you look at the tree you got right here, if you notice the duct tape on it, that was one year where I just let it go, and I did have too many apples on that thing, and it split that whole branch off of there. Just came right off.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you taped it back together.
I put tape on it for sure.
Duct tape and baling wire, man,
Yeah.
The way most engineers do stuff.
Yep. The handyman's secret weapon. But I didn't want a bunch of stuff getting down into where that tree split off right there. I didn't want a bunch of stuff getting in there.